Hello, hello, hello. Depends on your time zone. Good morning, good afternoon. Again, my name is Sergey, and I will be presenter here. And what is the idea of this session? It says here, I'm saying here that I'm offensive security fan, and so and yeah, that's what I like to do. I like to test security and show how not only how to protect, but how things may be compromised first. And in that case, protection makes much more sense after this. After we first try to hack something, maybe not really hack, but some to provide some, just try to attack something, and then again, protection will make much more sense after we try to compromise. So a few words about myself, and then we go on to start. My name is Sergey. I said it many times, and Peter also introduced me. So what I usually do, I implement cloud services, security service. I'm also an instructor, so I teach quite a lot. Speak at conferences. For example, last year I was a speaker even at DEF CON, which is well-known oldest security conference. And this year we more moved to in person. So I think that's the first my online conference this year, but soon I'll travel to some other countries to speak there. If you want to find me on LinkedIn, that's possible to do. I'm also Microsoft MVP. I have many certificates security like OSCP, EC Council stuff, and so on, and even CREST, which is UK security, so it's quite well known in UK. Anyway, so one of the things that I like to do is to show live demos. So you will not find many slides in this session. So most of the time, this session will be based on live demos. Because it's based on live demos, I hope you know, and I will interact with cloud services, which always unpredictable. So if something will not work, hopefully everything will work properly. But if something not, I hope that will not be a big problem. Agenda. What I'm going to show you here. So I would like to discuss with you Microsoft Defender for Office 365 related to Teams. So how those things will work in Teams, how the protection and Defender for Office 365 work in Teams. One more moment, because Teams has some delays in some of the scans. Sometimes I will give you demos based on the emails to give you immediate results, but generally I will try to focus on Teams as much as I can. So first we'll test if we try to share the malware through Teams and also in the mailbox, because the mailbox it will instantly give me a result. Then I'm going to show you what this sandbox that will test your attachment looks like. So when you upload the files to Teams, they will be tested in a sandbox. So what the sandbox is all about, that's what you're going to see in this session, hopefully. Then how it may be bypassed. So, okay, we have a sandbox. Is it possible to bypass, or it may protect from any kind of attacks? We'll see. So how it may be bypassed. Next one, we will also cover links, not only attachments, but links. So what if someone send you a malicious link through Teams, and you click on that link, and that link forwards you to phishing website? Will Teams somehow protect you? We'll see. And also, we're going to see how it may be bypassed as well. So, yeah. Finally, I will show you configuration. So most of the time in this session, it will be like the service in action, but in the end, I'm going to show you how to configure it and how you can configure multiple policies at once with preset security policies. All right, so that's what to expect. Let's get started. I promise you, I'm going to show you live demos, but in the beginning, just one slide real quick, and then switch to demo. So what Defender for Office 365 is, when you have your some files that you may upload to SharePoint or to Teams, which is literally the same, OneDrive, or maybe this file sent through email, what will happen next? So this file will be tested in the special sandbox in the cloud. But there's a difference. When you have an email, the file will be tested right away when you have an email delivery. But when you upload file to Teams or SharePoint, in that case, file will be tested in the next 24 hours. So eventually will be tested. And based on like a user activity, how often you access this file and so on, this file that will change the priority, but not immediately. That's why sometimes I will show you demos by using email, which is literally the same, but just give you a result right away. The attachment that you upload the file, it will be tested. It will be tested in a special environment. And this environment has number of tools, and those tools will analyze what's going on in the sandbox. Is this file doing something weird? Maybe when you open the file, it's trying to encrypt the workstation and so on. So the special algorithm will test that. All right. So now, as I promised you before, I will jump to. Oh, sorry. I tried to look if we have any questions. All right. We'll check that in the end. Now, let me jump back to demo. Let me jump to demo, and let's start to play with files. So I have a file that I create. And so this file is absolutely normal, right? So leaked credit card database. So it is normal, and it says there's no scam. Just enter only last 4 digits of your credit card and click enable content. There's no enable content button yet. So you may check if your credit card in the linked database with this file. So you just type 4 numbers and must click enable content, which is not available at this moment. And then maybe you will find that. So first of all, what I'm going to do, let me upload this file to Teams. Since I cannot do it from my Teams because I'm talking with you with my Teams, let me copy that to this file to my virtual machine. All right. And now, let's say I would like to send this file here. And let's click send. All right, so that was sent. We share the file. Nothing bad happens because this file is normal. So now let me also let me start to make this file more interesting. So what I want to do now, I would like to add some macro to this file. And now what I want to do, let me add something like this. So now I add macro. Let me save that. Let's click yes. Be careful. And let me close that. And let's just click save and give the new name, let's say macro 1, and call that XLSM. All right. Now, so this file now is macro enable. Let me just open that file again. And here now enable content button appeared. What will happen if I enable this button? If I click on that button, let me just copy this file. And let me, in my Linux machine, run listener. And just let's take a look if I can get a shell. Close that, click enable content. And nothing bad happened. Nothing bad happened. Let's do something else. I have the same file using different port. Just want to show you the quick demo. If I go to downloads and click something like this, so it's similar but just using different port. Let's click enable content, and now it should give me the shell. Yeah, so it looks like this. And if I look, who am I? I'm on this machine remotely. So that's called reverse shell. Now, I have the reverse shell to the machine. Let me close that. Oops. And so this file now is a bit different. So now this file is a bit more suspicious. This file is a bit more suspicious, right? So this file gives the reverse shell to attacker. And if user click enable content, if we convince user to click enable content, in that case, user may have some problems, may have some issues. All right, so now what I want to do next, give me one moment. I'm gonna check another one because I wonder why it didn't give me a shell. One moment. Oops. Okay, so that's the wrong one. Sorry. And so anyway, so let's keep this file. And now what I want to do, I would like to. Oh, by the way, let me just open that Visual Basic and see if that should be fine. Should be fine. One more moment. If that will not work, I'm gonna check another one. Maybe the code. Nope, not this one. Sorry again. Why it doesn't work? No idea. But let me check another one. I said I have many versions. So okay, this version should work. But let me just copy another code that definitely should work. Looks the same, but click save. Okay. And if I configure the shell listener and run that. Okay, Microsoft disabled. Let's run again. So it looks like just auto open doesn't work or what? Okay, so for some reasons on this workstation doesn't work, but in general it should work on the maybe. Oh, finally that's work. Oh yeah, so sorry. Looks like it's not really the problem of the macro. Looks like it's workbook open doesn't open it automatically. Let's try to change that to auto open. Auto open, and that should work. Or like, let's just like keep it like this and just like this. All right, so let's click OK. And now it should automatically run that. So what I want to do now, so that shell is working. Now I would like to send that to the mailbox. I'm going to send that to the mailbox, and let's say I would like to send it to this user, and I'm going to generate a bunch of text. So let's say one moment. I'm going to generate a bunch of text here. And the most important now is my attachment. Let me copy this attachment I create to my local machine. And now let's drag that to the mailbox. So why mailbox? Because on Teams, we do the same, but Teams will scan eventually, not immediately. In the mailbox, it should do it right away. So let me send the email. But if I upload to Teams, I will have the same result, but not immediately. Let's wait for the email. And I have an email now, and that is scanning now. So scan in progress. So I'm looking for, and I'm hoping, I'm crossing my fingers, that auto open is working properly. And so that should give me information about the sandbox. So fingers crossed. For some reasons, workbook auto open didn't work. I hope auto open works properly. So the script itself is fine, but just auto run of this book for some reasons didn't work as expected. For some reasons. But let's wait for the shell. Hopefully it will give me. If not, I will try another file that I have already that where auto open should work properly. So what I'm going to get, I hope if the sandbox will open my attachment and we'll try to analyze that, it should also give me the ability to see what the sandbox is all about. So while we're waiting, I guess let me just I can try to send another one just with different auto open configuration. So probably this one doesn't want to run automatically. Yeah, right. It doesn't want to run automatically. Let me check another one. Okay, so let me send the different one. Compose. Then generate a bunch of text. And so I would like to send another one. And let's click send. So now this time I should get, I will get another email. So it's still in progress here. Yeah. So this one wasn't detected, so it wasn't triggered and wasn't there. But this one should be better. So this one I tested before, so this one should give me a shell. So this sandbox, let me just in parallel show you what this sandbox is all about. I want to keep an eye on the actual machine, but what the sandbox is. So sandbox that will test your attachments in for Teams or for emails is Windows 10 Hyper-V virtual machine. So it's not Linux, it is not Android, it's Windows. It's not something something uncommon. It's just a Windows machine that will run your Windows files. That will run the file that open the run files there. So this sandbox has 1 gig of RAM. Oh, look at this. Yeah. So look at this. And if I run system info, what I can do, let's just wait for a second. You can see here this Windows 10 machine. I get a shell from it. And if I scroll a bit up, I can see system info. Let me first show you on the slide. So 1 gig of RAM and 1 core. So that's just the virtual machine on the Hyper-V with 1 gigabyte of RAM and 1 core. It contains fake user and decoy content. It also has applications like Office app, Adobe Reader, and so on, and browsers, and a number of custom tools for analysis. And you can see here, if I look at the system info, so here we have Windows 10 machine, and here is my physical memory. And somewhere we can also find processor cores, maybe not really here, but if we just do some other queries, we can find also information about cores. So now we know what sandbox is, and if we upload this file on Teams, eventually it will also execute my payload. Now, oh, sorry, I don't have a slide for it. And now the question, can we somehow bypass that? So what if we would like to, bypass that? So is it possible to bypass? Let me quickly show you what is happening in the mailbox. It's still in progress, but can we bypass that? So that in general, to bypass the sandbox, we need to find differences between sandbox and the regular workstation, and do not execute when we find the difference. By the way, let's take a look on the actual email, and we can see here unsafe attachment was blocked. So the idea, we must add the code and say, if we are trying to run in a sandbox, if this attachment is running in a sandbox, do not execute. Let's try to do it. So let me just take, sorry, for some reasons that this file that I showed you before doesn't work properly. Autorun doesn't work, so I will use another file. So this Teams Nations that I create specially for this training will not really work. But let me just show you on the different example. So I'm going to open the file. One moment, sorry. Let's make a copy first. Let me open a file. And now if I go to developer view, what I can find here, so code like this that calculates something, and then execution of the string that I showed you before. And now, so what we can do here, let me add the code that should not execute if the RAM is if the amount of RAM is smaller than 2 GB. So look at this. We just check physical memory, and we say if RAM is like higher than 2 GB, then execute command. Else, not enough RAM. So let me take. I'm not really sure if I take that. Let me just copy that to the new workbook. No idea. Once again, no idea why that auto open didn't work. And let me just change all of this. And if and so. Now, fingers crossed. Now I say only run this command, this malicious command, only if we have more than 2 gigs of RAM. Or we may use something different. We may just check processor cores. And now let's try to send it again. So let's try to compose. Let's send the email. Let's call that subject. And let me just drag that. By the way, I'm because of this autorun didn't work properly. I'm a bit out of time, but let me just call it 1, 2, 3 and show you how can I send that. And that should bypass the actual sandbox. Fingers crossed. Let me establish listener and send the email. So this one should not be executed by the sandbox because sandbox has less than 2 gigs and should bypass the sandbox. So that's the first thing we can do. I will keep an eye on the file here, and if we'll be lucky, then the actual it must bypass the sandbox. Another one, I promise you to tell you not only about this attachment that you may upload Teams, but also about links. About links I will show you here right away in the Teams. So this time it will work right away. I don't need to switch to email. So what about links? What if someone sends you a malicious link to some of the websites? So let me give you a link that I test today. Let me copy this link. And by the way, today, this link wasn't detected even by the browser in the morning today. Oops, sorry. Let me just type it. Mira, HTTP Mira XYZ. Mira XYZ. Okay, access suspended. Not anymore. So it used to work this morning when I found the link, found this link. Not anymore. Phishing link doesn't work for a long time. It should be still in a database, so it should be still marked as malicious. Of course, it's more interesting where you can see what it is. But let's try. So let me go to the workstation in the cloud, open Teams, and let's try to send that the message. And let's see what's going on. If I go here and I have it from msmith, let's click on that, verify the link, and look at this. So it says website has been classified as malicious, and so now even if browser doesn't stop user or this link is still alive, Defender for Office 365 will block this link, so it will not allow me to go there. So that's called safe links. So we can not only protect the attachment but also links. And look at this. Look at this. I'm getting back to attachments for a moment. Look at this. 1, 2, 3 bypass the sandbox. Why? Because the sandbox just analyzed the execution, and because I say, hey, if there's a less than 2 gigs, don't execute, and there's no execution. So the sandbox may be bypassed for attachment. What about links? So we say that malicious links may be used, but how we can bypass these safe links? Is any way to bypass them? Yes, it is possible to bypass safe links. Let me show you how it may be done. Let me open a private window, and I'm going to go to my Azure website, and let me quickly log in and show you how it may be done. Let me explain you the concept, how it may be bypassed. So if we provide the link to the malicious website directly, that will be blocked. But what if we create like an intermediate website? So I give a link here in Outlook to another website, and another website sends me to malicious website. Make sense? So I don't provide the malicious link directly. I give a link to the website, which is not malicious by itself, but that will direct me to malicious website, to another malicious website. And so there are 2 approaches here. So number one, let me show you number one that must fail. Number one, so it redirects me to the link. But what if I open the website? Let me just quickly show you. So here is the actual website. Safe links that Azure websites. There may be redirection doesn't send because all of this links, because malicious links, they don't live long. Usually just they live for a few hours. So of course, it will not live long. So if I just go to the website, but the idea of this website, it just redirects me. I just go to the website and it redirects me right away. Look at this. So just send me to another link immediately. So that will be blocked. If I send the link like this, and now let me try to open it. This one doesn't work anymore, so that's why it looks like they removed from database. But normally that will be blocked. But if I do something like this, let me just show you an example. If I do something like this, let's wait. Free tier takes some time before it spins up. Yeah. So if I do something like this, look, click here. That link will work. I mean, if I send the link to this website through Teams or through email, if I send a link like this, so user can go there and look at this. So it sent me to the website, and this website may contain all of the malicious things I want to send to user. So nowadays it's meaningless to send the. I mean, of course, not meaningless, but with protection, it's meaningless to send the malicious link. But I can send the link to the website with other links. So that will bypass safely. So I hope you get an idea how it works. So how it may be bypassed. If a link to normal website will be sent, and this normal website contain another link which is malicious, that will not be stopped by safe links. All right. So now I can jump back to portal. Where is that? Security portal. And now let's take a look at the last piece. How can we configure all of those links? So if you go to a security portal and go to policies and rules, and here, if I go to threat policies, and here we have preset security policies. So that means, so we can configure all of those policies separately. Safe attachment, safe link, so we can create those policies. But if we want to configure multiple policies at a time, we can do with preset security configurations. So in that case, what we can do, we can just apply the baseline. And this baseline may be like with standard protection, which is like more or less less restrictive, and more restrictive with strict protection. So you can just apply the like baseline on users, and they have multiple policies at time, and depends of course on the baseline, may be quite aggressive. So you may configure preset, but what if you don't want to configure everything here, but you want to know what is the best practice? Like what Microsoft recommends here? You may go to Configuration Analyzer, and so Analyzer will look into your configurations and check with against the baseline and say, hey, so here's the difference, and that's what we recommend, but it will be up to you how you want to configure them. So that's how you can use these preset policies to first of all, you may apply those baselines, or if you're not ready to apply the whole baseline, but at least you may run analysis and just understand like what is the best configurations from Microsoft standpoint, and so you can analyze against standard recommendations or strict recommendations. All right, so I have 5 minutes left, and to be fair, sorry about all of those auto run. For some reasons, it just didn't work. Maybe it probably this doesn't work also in the sandbox because that didn't give me a shell. So I spent time on that. But I still have 5 minutes for your questions, and I see there are some questions in the chat. So let me just go through them. So the idea here was that when Safe Attachment Sandbox opened the Excel file, macro triggers and open the reverse shell back to you. Yes, right. We can get access to the sandbox, and you saw that. So that's what the sandbox is all about. Then, oh boy, knowing the specs of the Safe Attachment Sandbox lets you write Excel macro that bypass security. Yes. So the idea of any bypass, sandbox bypass, is to know what sandbox configuration is and find the differences between normal workstation and the sandbox, and write your macro. That's what I did. Yeah. Likely why there's a roadmap item where Excel contained macros will be blocked by default. You can do it in your company, but the sandbox itself is very permissive. I would say sandbox itself doesn't even have antivirus. So sandbox is trying to check everything. So, and nothing should block. It just tests everything. But in your company, go ahead, block Excel macros or whatever you want to block, and it's a good idea to block them. Is there sandbox specs always the same? Yes, it is the same. And I would say I found that interesting thing 3 years ago, and the only one change that I found, so I made a lot of demo about that, and probably someone report about this, or maybe Microsoft watched my session, I don't know. So, but in the past, there was an even folder with tools, and I was able to look at all of the tools that used for analysis. But around a year ago, last year, they blocked this folder, so now I cannot look at the tools folder. But to be fair, I know what's there, what's in there. But yeah, the whole 3 years, since the year 2019, the sandbox is the same, so they don't change anything there except the permissions to access tools. What about websites which redirects the malicious website a few seconds? It will be blocked. So if there is a, let me just quickly show you. I think here I should have, where is that? Where is that? That's Gmail. I'm not sure where it, damn it. I didn't plan this question. So yeah, if you have the actual website that in the code redirects you automatically, it will be blocked. So like, so this one will not be blocked like this. But if you have a code that that just redirects you automatically, immediately, without user clicks, in that case, it will be blocked. So that will be blocked, yes. But if there is an action from user side, not automated, then won't be blocked. So how to block executables or similar files in Teams SharePoint, or any way to make in Teams SP scan and act like Exchange unlike protection. So as far as I know, it's 24 hours time window. 24 hours time window. About the extensions, you can block them on the SharePoint side. You may say with what kind of files maybe upload to SharePoint and Teams as well. But about the making Teams SP scan act like Exchange online protection, I guess you mean about the things I show you here. In Teams we have the same, but the difference here is that in Teams and SharePoint, scan will be done in 24 hours window. So that's why I'm not using that in my demo. I didn't use it in my demo because that takes a while. I don't have 24 hours for the demo. I think I'm out of time right now, even so I should stop to talk a lot. Let me just go through all of the questions and then say bye to you. Do you know what is the difference between the new built-in protection for safe attachments and the enabling of the safe attachment through global settings? So the actual settings, global settings, they are they give you some general settings about, if you want to enable this behavior in Office applications, but built-in protection, they deploy that to your user to deploy specific policy to your users. So they are different. Very interesting demos highlighting some of the weaknesses of current links and safe attachment. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Can safe attachment feature help mitigate reverse shell scenario? Yeah, of course. If you look here again, we also give me a link, but I'm sorry, I don't have really time to read about that. If you look here, oh, they're removed, but let me just find. So here is a reverse shell, and that was blocked. The only one way to, I can do it if I bypass the sandbox like this. But I know what this sandbox is all about, so I was able to bypass. But in general, yes. So many payloads that the users may get, safe attachment should block them. All right, so looks like we're out of questions, and I'm out of time as well. Rate my session if you don't mind.